before the action begins.
Just to remind you, as always, it is the best of 5 games. The first player to win 2 games, and each game, of course, is to 11 points. It's Timo Boll to serve at the start of the first game. Reverse action service there. The back going away from the body.
Just notice how much time that Timo was taking on the serve. He's thinking everything through, Richard.
Boll coming across, returning with the backhand from the forehand side of the table. But it was Boll who unfortunately hit the ball long, and Marlong takes an early lead, 2-1. This time, Boll comes across. Again, backhand from the forehand side.
It's much easier to read than the service if you come with this backhand banana flick to adjust what kind of different service variation Marlong is doing there.
Held his ground, took the counter topspin on. Marlong takes a gamble, runs round. That had to be an outright winner for Marlong. But Boll, fantastic play there, great anticipation. And he didn't just block it back, he spun it back off the bounce. Super stuff.
Whoa! And this was fast. You see, usually the Chinese, they are known for stepping around really fast. But you see now in slow motion, even in slow motion, Timo Boll was fast there. Incredible start.
Wonderful stuff. You don't often see the topspin being too fast for Marlong. And it's a great start by Timo Boll. He's pumped up. Look at those eyes. He's focused in the zone.
Got it!
3-4. Backspin on the service from Marlong. Again, Boll coming round, returning with the backhand from the forehand side. Didn't quite lift the backspin.
Is that a tactic, Richard, there to go for the flick more times than not?
And it's not only about flicking, but about placement of the flip. Now, not only putting the ball in the backhand, but also in the middle there, make Marlong a little bit shaky where Timo Boll is placing the flip. It's so much about placement.
The reverse action service from Timo Boll. It drifted long, and it allowed Marlong to get in with the strong topspin. We see that again on the replay. Just a fraction too long.
He's a master at that, Don, isn't he? Marlong picking that up. Beautiful little ball. Slow, spinny topspin. Beautiful.
And again, not only easy cross, but like he started already down the line. Now it's a little bit more of the middle. So far, good variation of Timo, especially with his backhand.
Good topspin from Marlong. He moved well. He got out wide to the forehand. It's a good flick from Timo Boll. It looked as though the bounce kept quite low.
And exactly, you see how fast Timo Boll was trying to turn around after. That's for sure his tactique to, after the flip, ready to turn around to come with a very, very good forehand topspin off the bounce.
Well played there by Marlong. Timo Boll did well. He let the ball drop. He spun up the ball. We see it there. Maybe a fraction too high. Marlong launches himself into that forehand topspin. And it's good placement down the middle of the table.
I remember this match between them in Paris. Very often there, the service was drifting out half long. One was starting and the other one was directly ready for a good counter topspin, as we've seen here Marlong doing.
All square, 6-all.
The reverse action serve again, and again it just drifts slightly long.
Bit pointy as well. Bit pointy as well, is it? A little bit easier for Marlong to lift.
stepped around the backhand. He guided that back, didn't give it a lot of speed or spin, varying his return. There we see him.
It's about a little bit of mental state also. When you feel your service starts to drift out half long, you start to hesitate a bit. You start to slow down the movement. You produce less spin, get it easier for the opponent to attack.
The momentum's now with the man in red. Three big points at the start.
Ma Long there in with that strong forehand. He's looking to get in first with the powerful shot, and he was certainly very successful on that occasion. I think we'll see the same again. Tight serve, and then the strong topspin behind the tight serve. Twisted and turned several times. 1 minute, great return from Boll there, great touch. He's in, you fancy his chances at this point. But look at the retrieving here from Ma Long. And that was a great backhand out wide to Boll's forehand.
What an angle on the backhand, as you say, Don, from Ma Long. Incredible how he turned that around.
4 game points for China. And there it is, at the first time of asking. Ma Long takes the first game. 11 points to 6.
What's the thought, Richard? What's your exhaustion? That was good first half. What about the second half?
Yeah, I think the main thing is there that in one moment that Ma Long was ready to turn around directly on this backhand return of Timo Boll, and Timo couldn't manage to read the spin in that way. There's here from time to time also ready to put the ball in deep foring, for example. It's quite a lot, the return to the backhand half, although I repeat, Ma Long has maybe one of the best services worldwide, and it's not that easy to really keep the control there. And maybe one more time to mention that in general with Flick, with the first topspin, they attack the backhand of Timo Boll. That's something like he has to be ready for. And 3 times the reverse service to drift out half long, that's tough.
I thought Timo started very well in that game. He was 5-all, 6-all, but the end of that game, that's when Ma Long, I wouldn't say went up a gear, but he served tighter, he got in with strong topspins, and he won that big point when Timo, I thought, had a good chance to win it when he was away from the table.
Fascinating stuff. Great first half from Timo Boll, but persistence from Ma Long. Ended that first game strongly and leads 1-0, and he's starting with the serve here in game 2. Head-to-head for these players, of course, is 10-3 in favour of Ma Long. Not that that will matter today, Richard. Timo has belief.
Definitely, Timo has belief and he has a plan. We shouldn't forget that also in this Moscow 2010, in the one World Cup match. He was down till he found a little bit the feeling for the service of Ma Long. Might take a while.
Good return there from Boll, the forehand flick.
And 2 points won after the service of Ma Long. That's something already.
Boll now with his 2 serves to come.
Good placement. Good placement. It's not only about the spin, because if you do the same ball down in the forehand of Ma Long, he would for sure come directly with a counter top spin. But very good this ball down the line.
Great service there. Short serve, second bounce, on or around the baseline. Ma Long is normally the master. He hesitated there. He thought it was coming long. It's a great start by Germany. Tactics were good there from Boll. Positive return of serve.
Exactly, and it's good about changing the placement from time to time, not only returning into the backhand half of Ma Long.
Oh, it's a good flick that time.
This time he came down, first time he came down the forehand, this time he came down the backhand. He's moving the return around. Clever play by Boll.
And just as the players take their towels after 6 points, there's a bit of activity on the Twitter feed. And the first one we're getting through here is to do with the receive, Richard. I guess you guys were just talking about it there. Do you think it's better for Timo to play short on the receive or to flick the majority of the serves, or is it just to mix and vary?
It's a lot about mix and have some variation there, but of course, if you can read the service perfectly right, not so bad to have a short return.
So thank you, Matt, for getting in touch with us with your question. If you do have a question, please use the Twitter handle @ITTF World and the hashtag #TTokyo 2014.
The new chairman of the ITTF there on screen, Adam Shahara. Adam Shahara, the former president, he's now changed positions. The chairman, of course, the ITTF has come on leaps and bounds under the leadership of Adam Shahara. And now Timo Boll with a 5-3 lead.
Let 3-5.
You see, this time Malong wanted to change the placement a bit more in the backhand of Timo, not too much in middle forehand.
Oh, the forehand down the line. It's the more difficult of the two lines to play down. The target's shorter. And we see here a little bit of side spin from Marlong. It was enough, the ball kicked. And the forehand topspin from Boll catches the top of the net, flicks off the end of the table. Marlong now just 1 point down. 5-4, Boll leads.
How important will that point be in the overall match? Fine margins at this level.
Oh, good backhand topspin on the diagonal. Yu Guliang, the Chinese players, they're on their feet.
And I tell you something, Marlong did something very clever in that way, that he changed the service a little bit. Instead of this side spin, up spin, side spin, down spin, he came with a straight service, which is difficult or more difficult to flick for Timo. Then Timo Boll had to push, and on that push, Marlong started with a good backhand topspin.
Oh, a little bit of good fortune there. Boll very quickly to acknowledge that, but nevertheless, good positive play. Stretching managed to get it. And then that fast forehand topspin deep into Marlong's backhand.
Very similar scoreline in the first game. Here we are in game 2.
And that's the classic. This is what usually the Chinese do very, very often. Getting crucial, they attack the deep backhand of Timo, and if Timo Boll cannot manage to put the ball away from the forehand, means playing this ball in the middle or down the line, they attack with a very aggressive counter topspin. And Malong was even giving a little bit of side spin there, gets it nearly impossible for Timo to turn around on that ball.
And so 6 points each, and it's Marlong now with his 2 serves to come.
Let
Well spotted by the umpire, the ball just catching the top of the net.
Oh, what a chop block that was. That's a get out of jail card right there from Malong. Incredible reaction.
Incredible how he got the backspin on the ball as well. He came underneath the ball, fast accelerating wrist, and Boll just failing to lift the backspin.
And we had, yeah, this is
Timeout.
good choice from Timo Boll in that moment to take a timeout. Because we shouldn't forget, he was up in the first half of the first game. Now he was up 4-0, 5-1 in the second game. And this is so crucial to stay in contact, not to lead them lead also. We have already mentioned that Timo Boll is a specialist also in turning the game once more time, to remind on the Moscow 2010 when he was able to turn it 0-2 against Marlong. Actually, Timo missed already 2, let's say, I wouldn't call that unforced, but like two times the ball with forehand, 1 time this wiggly shot from Marlong, and now again on this chop block, where he really underestimated the spin, and at the same time he had time enough to react.
And what's your Grosskopf's approach here with Timo? Because a coach should know each of his players individually, Richard, right? Is it about motivation and saying positive things, or is it about very specific technical, tactical stuff?
In this moment, maybe to keep him in mind about placement, that he really follows the plan, and to remind him, okay, Timo, now you missed this forehand. It was a little bit because your legs have been upright. Keep in mind, not only the plan, but also the legs should be a bit lower.
And a question coming in that relates to tactics here, Richard. A question from Table Tennis Planet. Should Timo slow down a a little bit. Play with more spin without the fast winners.
If he can do that, for sure it's important. But then again, it's so much not only about slow down, but about finding the right time. You remember this ball, 6-5, 6-all, where Timo was just opening ball down the line. This was not that fast, but it was not enough.
7 points apiece. Timo Boll now with his 2 serves. The service drifted long from Boll, and Marlong's in with that first strong topspin. So important for both players to make the first strong topspin. Tends to be they can dominate the rally, then keep the pressure on. And we see there Marlong in first, and Boll eventually stretching wide on the forehand. And this is a big point now.
Let.
Just caught the top of the net.
He's struggling with his service. You feel this. This might have been also again drifting out half long.
Is that tension? Is that just not as relaxed?
I don't know. Difficult to say.
Oh, he had to make that one, surely.
Again, I didn't think it was a great service. He got away with it. He forced Marlong away from the table, but in fairness, Marlong's playing quite well away from the table. He's playing strong topspins.
Definitely, but I think it was not too bad choice. Maybe it was not that fast, but it was a long service. It was a service variation, and then he was not ready on this backhand, this second backhand, jumping quite high, unexpectedly high. This is the 9-7 and service of Marlong. Tough.
Oh, good return of serve there. The delicate touch shot, soft hands, reading the spin well, keeping the ball tight, and we have timeout called by Liu Guliang. He knows this is a pivotal moment in this first match. Of course, if Marlong can go 2-0 up, then it's tough for Timo Boll.
Fascinating stuff, and maybe just take some questions in the break here, because it relates to some of the thoughts that we might have here in the commentary box. A question in from Table Tennis Daily. What's changing in the second half of the game? Each time Timo's led in the first half, second half not so much.
Yeah, I think the main thing is there in this second game, in the second half, Marlong was ready on one hand to attack the half-long service of Timo Boll, and Marlong also changed his own service. Instead of serving side spin, up spin, side spin, down spin, he was coming more with a straight service. Now at 9-7, first time Timo read the service really well. The straight service more difficult to flick, easier to return short. After this short return, now directly Liu Guliang took a timeout. Now let's gonna see what service variation Marlong will do right now.
I think a lot of it is stemming around who can get in with the first strong topspin. I think early in the game, we saw Boll getting in with the first topspin, and then in the second half of the game, it's Marlong who's making the strong topspin. Service, receiver serve, so important. Some of the serves are drifting long. You can't afford to have that happening.
And relating to that, Don, question in from Edwin Zyla. Do you think that Boll needs to serve spinny to Marlong's forehand so the second bounce is over the table?
Of course, this would be good to do, but not so easy to control. It's a tight situation.
Absolutely.
Here we are back at the action, 9 points to 8. Marlong in the lead. Oh, and he's backhand topspin off the end of the table. And now Timo Boll has his 2 serves to come at the business end of this second game.
It's good to see a spring in his step as well here, guys. Timo feels the energy. Good to see Marlong challenge too. Good for the game.
Exactly, and now we have seen that Marlong was struggling in controlling this spinny flick to the backhand. And before, in some matches, Marlong couldn't rely 100% on his backhand. Let's see now.
Again, the serve drifted slightly long, and Marlong takes the initiative, and Boll has to keep it a little bit tighter. Very relevant to the last question that we discussed. Game point, China. And there it is. Marlong acknowledging his good fortune. But now Marlong leads by 2 games to 0, having won the second game 11-9.
Players back at the table. 2-0 for Ma Long, crucial. But we do know he's come back from this situation before, Richard.
Well, I think it's always interesting to have these short conversations in between underneath each other. Now, the player who was serving didn't have advantage at all, due to the fact that either the service jumped out half long or the players attack the service with his backhand banana flick. Very often, the return player has a slight advantage to my point of view.
Germany to serve. Level.
And so we start the third game. Of course, tough situation now for Timo Boll. He has to win the next 3 games. And that's a good start. He takes the first point. Good backhand topspin down the line. Again, Ma Long getting in with a strong returner serve. Spinning the ball deep into Boll's backhand, forcing him to block with the backhand. 1 point each. Ma Long now with his 2 serves to come.
Nice flick. Richard, was there a story a few years ago or a test done about eyesight in terms of the speed of eyesight for table tennis players over an average of what that might be for a normal individual, for example?
Yeah, it's well, the story is about that they checked Timo's eyesight, the university in Bochum, and they find out in theory Timo can see more than 100%. It sounds a bit funny, but the way he was moving and realizing things was much more than usually you would expect.
Compared to a fighter pilot or something?
Might be.
Wow. So he's going to need all that eyesight here, Don, if he's going to try and make an impression back in this match.
He started well. I think just a slight improvement with the serves. Boll leads 3-2. He now has his second serve in this sequence of 2. And I'm sure he's looking to keep it tight and get in first with that strong forehand if he can. That was a great serve. Second bounce was virtually on the baseline. Maybe Ma Long was just guiding it back, but the placement was excellent. Same again.
Nice flick out wide. Takes a brave player to flick to the forehand of Ma Long, but maybe that's part of the variation strategy, Richard.
Definitely. You have to get this flick going not only to the backhand half, especially when Ma Long is getting used to this flick to the backhand half. He's turning around very, very fast and very powerful. And from the backhand side, he's executing his forehand topspin in all directions. You really have no chance to react.
Good strong topspins from Timo Boll. He's playing the left-hander, of course, playing the forehands on the diagonal into Ma Long's backhand. Pinned him down the backhand side. Good tactics from Germany's Timo Boll.
And many thanks to all the fans out there who have been tweeting in their questions as Ma Long goes on fire.
And this is like a tornado, the way when he's turning around and coming up with a so powerful forehand topspin. That's really so nicely connected as we see here in slow motion. Very good.
Again, the placement key into the body of Timo Boll. 5-3. Boll now with his 2 serves. Excellent return of serve by Ma Long.
And you know, Don, this is so heavy backspin on the service of Timo that if Ma Long is able to return this ball short, it's not that easy to really flick on that ball. He's getting back all the spin he put before inside his own service. Nicely done.
Great play. Jorn Roskop's on his feet. Super play. The forehand topspin down the line was key here. Ma Long's running round the backhand to play his forehand. Boll tactically superb there. Stretching and still managed to go down the line. 6-4 Boll.
So as per the question from the fan earlier on, Table Tennis Daily, you were asking about the first half of the game and the second half of the game. Well, Timo Boll has to be strong here in the second half of this game if he's to stay alive here in this match.
Again, it's that strong forehand topspin from Marlon. I have to say it's a similar pattern. Timo's been very strong at the first half of the game. Is Marlon coming back again, Richard? He seems to be firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, and especially on the backhand side. Whenever he knows early that Timo's flicking to the backhand, this powerful forehand topspin, it's no way to catch.
He had to make that one. He's gone down the middle of the table. Excellent ball with spin, not speed. Again, some of our fans on Twitter noticing the importance of spin, which I think you've mentioned a number of times, Richard. That's a great ball down the middle to Ma Long.
Exactly, and if you try to beat Ma Long with speed, I think you are struggling so much. It's so much more about placement, finding the right time, prepare the ball, and then finish it off. This was a perfect example now from 6-5 to 7-5. Nicely done from Timo Boll.
So, a pivotal moment now in the third game. Boll with his 2 serves to come, leading 7-5. Oh, overhits the backhand. Took it quite early, lifted a fraction too much.
I can feel the tension in the arena. It's unbelievable. This is a big point with the serve. 7-6. He went for the little drop-in float, Richard, this time. He's changed it.
And that's smart from Timo Boll. Just put the ball with nothing special inside. Just put the ball short, avoiding this heavy backspin return from Ma Long, avoiding that the serve is drifting out half long, just to start the ball with.
Simple serve, but very, very effective. Second bounce on the table appears to be key to a good serve here.
What a ball from Ma Long.
And Ma Long also in this way was changing now to the really high toss service already quite some time. It's so much about strategy, so much about changing the technique all the time.
It was a good receive from Timo, but Ma Long was equal to it on the backhand, fast, able to play that third ball down the line. A key point once again. They're all key points.
Oh, good topspin by Ma Long. It was an open rally. Ma Long, even when he's stretching, he's still able to generate a little bit of power. Look, he's moving across, stretching, still plays powerfully.
And the placement was not as cross as Timo Boll was expecting. It was a little bit down the line, and it gave a little bit the problem for Timo Boll. He was expecting the ball deeper in his backhand.
8 points apiece. Boll, 2 serves. You can see the reaction of the Chinese bench. Liu Guliang, former world and Olympic champion. He's pumped up. This is amazing table tennis.
And this was big, the way Ma Long was moving there. He's so fast on the legs. I couldn't believe, I thought already 2 times that Timo really could catch him there.
Good play by Boll. A lifeline, 9 points each.
Wow. Can Timo Boll snatch this one to pull a game back? Can he rerun that match you talked about earlier on, Richard, for 3-2 in the end? He needs to do something here. He looks calm and collected, though.
Yeah. As I mentioned, this silent confidence, and he still has. And I'm sure he will try to keep this plan going. This game so far, this last game, was a bit more that the one who's serving had this advantage.
And so, business end of the third game. 9 points each, Ma Long with 2 serves. Slight advantage for China. And he's in. He's staying around the backhand side with the forehand. Clenched fist, punches the air. And it's now match point for Ma Long. We need a positive return of serve here from Timo Boll.
Maybe trying one more time to middle or deep forehand. Avoiding this forehand topspin from backhand side. But the main thing is to read the service now right.
Timo Boll has to be brave. Oh, he tried to push it short. He didn't quite read the spin. The ball popped up, and Marlong's in with a forehand topspin. Two strong attacks behind two serves. 9-all, 11-9, and it's Marlong who wins the first match for China, 3-0.
And you can see the admiration of both players shaking hands there. They know each other well, but it's not to be today for Timo Boll. It's China now, 1-0.
And really, it's quite good what Marlong was playing there, especially after his own service. We've seen the second game when really the 1-2 return had nearly an advantage, but in the third game now, Marlong was really in charge after his own service, and he won 3-0. China leads 1 game by 0.